What's up, Longhairs? Moreno here in the executive wing at the Longhairs global headquarters. Don't think you guys have seen too much of this room, but this is where a lot of big decisions go down. It's been a little over a month since my last video upload on my hair update. As you can see, we've had quite a bit of growth. I mean, I think we're talking another ½ inch. We're looking probably at just over an inch, pretty much all the way around. I've not touched it since the great cut, so what you see is just all natural growth, and we have some issues. I'm getting a lot of this little stuff coming over the ears and everything. It's time to cut that up. The back of my head, this, not good, okay? It's looking shaggy. We need to get a line in there. We need to clean up the neck. And the biggest thing is it seems that the sides of my hair are growing faster than the top. The shape really isn't good. Weird, like an opposite side mushroom. It's getting big out here and then coming back in the top. Not what we want. We want a nice tight coming in and, you know, kind of, we want a regular mushroom look, okay? We are in the very first stages of the awkward stage. Awkward stage, extremely long period of time, like way bigger, like out here is really what the awkward stage is. We're getting our toes in right now. It's time for some maintenance. We gotta get a trim. So in this video, we're gonna hear from some hair pros about some of the best tactics in moving forward from this current length right now to set ourselves up for success. We're gonna go see our in-house pro over at House of Imago, Shayna, and then we're gonna go get a trim from a barber. This is the first time I'll be going to a barber in over 8 years. But what do you tell that barber about how to trim your hair, but set it up for growth? That's what I'm gonna answer in this video here. If this is the first video you've ever seen from our channel, welcome. We embrace you with open arms. We are the Longhairs. We are a global community for men with long hair. We advocate, educate, and celebrate the flowing manes on men. It's a lot of fun. We have a great community here. So hit that subscribe if you like what you see. Also, give this video a thumbs up. And this particular video series is of me growing it back out from 25 inches, which was cut and donated at an event called The Great Cut, which we hosted. And this is my journey back. So if you are new, welcome. This is the land of the flow and the home to the awkward. So let's get awkward. All right, rolling up to House of Imago here, House of Shayna, our in-house pro. We've gone to her for everything hair knowledge. She's taught us so much about long hair. We're so grateful. You may remember her from our video, Should You Cut in the Awkward Stage? Famous video on our YouTube channel here. If you haven't, check that one out, great one. But we're gonna roll in and have a little consultation and see what she says about how to manage this stage and make it somewhat reasonable for moving forward and setting ourselves up great for the growth to come. Shayna! Great! So excited to be here.
Wow. This is a change.
I'm at a point where I definitely need a trim. I'm looking for some advice on how to best kind of shape this up for moving forward. You know where I want to be. I want to be past the shoulders and everything.
If you wanted to keep up your relationship with your barber while you're in this in-between stages, like what is it that you need to be saying to him?
Exactly.
Okay. The first thing that I would say is that whenever I have a client that's trying to grow their hair out, the top of your head is going to take the longest to get to where you need to go. So you really want to do as little as possible to this top section.
Yeah.
And you want to focus all of your trimming mostly around the ears and the back, and if you absolutely need to, you can get into the side. It's going to take a long time for this hair to grow all the way out and catch up to here. We can very safely trim around the edges and not worry about losing those critical millimeters that you've been really trying to get. Part of the awkward stage means that you have to embrace the awkward. We can't completely get rid of it, but there are some things you can do to make it so it's a little bit better, and you can start training your hair with product. What you really want to focus on is making yourself look as well groomed as possible so that your haircut looks intentional and it doesn't just look like I just buzzed my head and then haven't given it a second thought.
Great advice, because that's where I'm at right now.
Yeah.
That's exactly where I'm at right now.
I mean, it's a look, but I don't think it's the look you're going for. You've got a lot of length around here, so I would recommend that we go in and trim all of this up, and then you can taper from about where your temple is. You can taper from the temple to the ear.
Okay.
And still leave this length here and all the length in through the top. But you don't want to have any hair cutting going on above the temple at this stage. Yeah. And every time you get a haircut, you want that tapering to move lower and lower down the head shape so that eventually you're only trimming just around the ear.
So if I go to my barber and for my first trim, just because probably gonna stick with him maybe a few trims while I'm growing it out, because he can just hit it quick, right?
Right.
If I tell him just taper from my temple down, he'll know what to do.
And more importantly, we also want to say, not only do you want to say taper from the temple down, you want to make it very clear, I don't want anything above the temple cut at all. Okay. Make that very, very clear, because what some people will hear is, oh, taper this, and they get in really tight, and like, oh, well, now I have to blend it, and that's not what we're looking for. Okay. So this is where the tapering should start, and then it should fade in to above the line. And barbers are fantastic at fading things in. So you should trust your barber, let them do their thing. Just let them know that nothing above the temple needs to be cut. Okay. And then in through the neckline, same thing. This is you can kind of feel this U shape right in here. That's called your occipital bone. So this is where you want to have tapering start. It's from the occipital bone moving down. Okay. So you don't want to cut anything above the occipital bone, and you don't want to cut anything above the temple, which will create a line that goes from the temple around and in through here and back out the other side. It's where when you take off your baseball hat, where you have that line. Okay. So everything below that line can be tapered in, but nothing above that should be cut. And as long as your sides and neck are clean, this is gonna look intentional and it's gonna look fine. Yeah. And then, if you're not someone who normally wears product, this is the time to start wearing product in your hair. Because a lot of what's making this top part look a little bit awkward is that you have really thick, straight hair and it's just standing up like this. So clumping it together a little bit to give it a little bit of texture and direction is gonna
we're talking like, because I haven't used any product for like 7 years.
Yeah.
So I think the last time I ever did gel or anything was like 8th grade spikes.
Yeah.
So I don't want to do the spikes.
Yeah, so a couple of things that I tell everyone when they're starting product. You want to take a little dab will do ya. Okay. Little dab will do ya. Yes, just a little.
I like that.
So take a little bit of that, and then you want to work it into your hands almost like it's a lotion.
Okay.
And then everyone's first tendency when they have this product in their hand is to go straight to the front. You don't want to start in the front, because that's when you end up looking like you did when you were in junior high and you have weird, awkward spikes. We're not going for there's something about Mary look with this whole thing. So make it into a lotion in your hand, and then you start in the back. Okay. All right? And then you can push everything forward and then push it back and use your hands like claws to just sort of rake and create texture.
Awesome.
If you have dark hair, anything that has a shine to it will make your hair look really greasy. Okay. So I really like matte products for most men. Other things to keep in mind too when you're in the awkward phase, think of all grooming. So not just grooming on your head. So that means like take a look at your eyebrows, guys. Are they getting crazy?
Yeah, mine definitely are.
Yeah, clean that up. How's your beard? Do you have nice cut lines? Cut that in. Yeah. And a good rule of thumb for men is when you look at yourself, you're gonna see kind of a natural line right here. So when you look straight in the mirror, see how I can't really see below here or above there? That's where you wanna have your beard stop. If you go lower, it's gonna make your neck look thicker and heavier. And if you go higher, if you have any kind of sag there at all, you're gonna see it sagging below your beard, and that's not good either. Yeah. So look at where your lines are and make sure that all of your grooming, not just around your ears, is nice and clean and tight, and that will make everything else look really intentional. It's killing me not to give you this haircut, but I'm excited that you're gonna go get it done, and then we'll just keep watching you through this phase. I'm excited for you.
So guys, Shayna will be with us the entire journey, helping me, but also helping you. That was incredibly educational. It's so good to get some just pro advice so that in any situation for the next month, we know how to handle it. Shayna, we're gonna be seeing a lot more of you.
Looking forward to it.
Thank you for being a regular and having us.
Yes.
And we will talk to you very soon.
Sounds good. Thanks for coming
All
in,
right,
guys.
later.
Can't wait to see it. Bye.
All right, here in PB, about to hit the True Grit Barbershop. See our man, Steven Jones. He's a dude who shaved me up at the grit cut. So we're gonna use everything we just learned from Shayna and tell Steven how we want this thing managed. Right now, obviously, I'm kind of approaching that awkward. You see how I got weird shape. It's looking real long on the sides. It's growing longer on the sides.
I see that.
Yeah.
The longest part here is your nice ears there.
So here's what I'm thinking. Tapering down from about the temple.
So we'll knock all this bulk out here and get it even, and then we'll fade up into that because we already have what we want. Versus starting too soon and working up and getting too short. You've set the limit, the border. We're on our way there.
I mean, dude,
you know what
already,
I mean?
yeah.
So now that excess weight is gone, now we'll go maybe 1.5, 2 here to tighten up this sideburn, and then get this wolf neck. You're gonna want to check here the spots that you had told me about. Make sure that this is short enough and that you like the taper.
Yeah, I'm loving it, man. I mean, you know, I think thanks for listening. Thanks for going exactly where I said.
Right.
I mean, I think we're set up for some real success here. Moving down, looks super clean. Woo! New man. Ready to just keep pushing, battling into the awkward stage. Dude, yes. Awesome.
Hell yeah, man.
All right, looking fresh, feeling fresh. My man Jones did an excellent job. I took what Shayna taught me there, translated very easy over to him, and he got it done. I'm feeling really, really great right now. Guys, the big takeaways from this is something that Shayna said. We want to be as well groomed as possible through this whole process. Everything needs to be intentional. That is what's gonna help us continue to power through. Because anyone, any age, any profession, whatever your situation, you should be able to grow out your hair, looking presentable and looking professional. That is my goal. As I get through this, I'm gonna mitigate it as much as I can, and it's an opportunity to play with some style as you are growing it out. Why not? You don't have to be miserable in the awkward stage, okay? There's gonna be tough patches. It's gonna get rough. We're still at the beginning, okay? There's a lot of hardship to come. But let's mitigate every step that we can while we proceed. Big props to Shayna, shout out to House Imago. Big nod to our boy Steven Jones over there at True Grit Barbershop in Pacific Beach. Hey, remember, if you want any gear from Longhairs, use the coupon code I got for you, Grow with Moreno. That's right, Grow with Moreno. Get you a nice hookup on anything at thelonghairs.us. Also, join me in the journey. Are you growing your hair out? I want you to come along with me, man. There's a link below where you could sign up to join the hundreds of guys who are all growing it out together right now. All right, guys, until next month. See ya.